Good morning, everybody. We're moving some cars around. We're about to move the Lexus out of the way. We just parked the Tahoe here, and we're gonna be working on this beauty today. Doing this job, like camming this V6 Camaro, requires 4 cams, 4 variable timing sprockets, 3 chains, 2 idle, 5 guides, 3 tensioners.
Meanwhile, eventually, yesterday,
And we're gonna be working on this beauty today. This is the Camaro that we rebuilt the suspension probably about a year ago. Alright, we got the Camaro in for surgery. Look at all the boxes, all the parts that we got, and see where we can get started. Whole timing kit, 4 cams, and then we got a bunch of gaskets, water pump, tensioner, valve cover gaskets, coolant outlet, water pump bolt, water pump gasket, some more O-rings, intake gasket, front main seal, and we're already getting started. I just removed the intake. I'm starting to remove some wirings. I'm about to remove the manifold. Alright, so we're gonna try to do some voiceover here, and well, first of course, undid all the bolts and electrical connectors on top of the manifold, and then get the purge valve undone as well, evap lines, the vacuum lines that go from the valve cover to the manifold, and then right here I'm getting the bolts that hold the bracket to the intake manifold, and it comes out. Also get the gasket out, very important. Put some brags always in your intake port so that nothing falls back into your engine. Then right here I start undoing the electrical connectors on top of the bank 2 valve cover, and right here I'm just analyzing, trying to see what's gonna be the smartest move. Let me know down in the comments if you like the voiceover, some advices, what you like or what you don't like. Here you see me, I start getting the coolant hose off so that I can start draining the coolant while I keep removing the wires on top. Right here I get the belt off, and then right here I get the water neck off, and I'm doing some of the bolts from the tensioner. I get the power steering reservoir, I'm done. I see that I need to get the air box out of the way, so undo that. 2 bolts, it comes off. Get the reservoir out of the way, and I hold it with some elastic straps. I get the bracket that holds the reservoir off. Get the hose off the side. Then right here I am undoing some of the vacuum lines, and I keep going with the wiring while the coolant is draining. Get all the wiring from the front of the engine. These are the cam sensors and the VVTi solenoid connectors. Get those out of the way. Then I'm doing right here the ignition coils connectors from the passenger side. Get those undone so that I can pull the whole wiring harness out of the way. Right here I'm undoing the wire from the ECU, that way I can pull the whole wire into the side. I could get another stretch strap and to hold the wire harness. I keep on doing everything that is on top, everything that is in my way. I get the wiring harness from the other side, pull it out of my way. I noticed that right in that corner I'm gonna be struggling to get some bolts out of the way. And now get the coils out, 10 millimeters, and they come off, and then start undoing all the 10 millimeters from the valve covers. Right here is where I noticed that I'm gonna be suffering with those bolts in that corner. So right here I'm moving some of the hoses out of the way. I know I undid the hose that goes into the brake booster to give me more room, and move the evap hoses from around there a little bit more to the side. I was able to get one of the bolts with a swivel socket, very simple. But there's a last bolt that is at the end of the valve cover, all the way at the end at the bottom, that you cannot reach at all from the top unless you undo a lot of lines on top that I didn't want to mess with. So I just got that bolt with a little wrench, little by little, and here I was almost ready to pull it off, but I noticed there was another bolt that it was not all the way loose. So get it out of the way, get the valve cover out, get the gasket out. And right here I'm just checking the cams, checking the wear, checking inside the engine, how it looks. The whole inside of the engine, you'll see it looked really clean. Like, the owner of this car has been really good with the maintenance in it. It's also still pretty new. It's like 60 or 70,000 miles still. And then to get to the last bolts on this side, I had to undo the bolt that holds the bracket for the fuel line. So I did a cut right here, and I got that undone because I had to climb on top of the engine. I didn't really know how to get to that bolt, so it took me a minute. And then right here I'm getting the valve cover off, get the gasket out of the way. I'm pulling a little bit more on the wire to make it easier whenever I have to put the valve cover back on. And then right here I'm undoing the sensors, the cam sensors, the VVTi solenoids, the 10 millimeters, and prying them out of the way. This one right there was really stuck, so I left it for later. And then cam sensors and VVTi solenoids, same thing, but from the passenger side, from the bank one. That's bank one, the passenger side. I'm trying to learn to love diversity and different types of cars, and American cars and V6 cars, but I just can't. Look at this shit. To remove the tensioner, you got a 13 here and a 13 here, and you cannot get the 13 unless you remove the fucking pulley. Why? And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Removing the pulley is not that big of a deal. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. You have the space, but I mean, couldn't they make the pulley slightly smaller? That way the bolt would have cleared. Or make the pulleys like Japanese cars that it's just a bolt and a nut, a 17 millimeter, and then you pull the pulley off. Why do you need a special tool? Why does it have to be pressed? Dumb, but it's okay. So it turns out that I had the wrong harmonic balancer puller. So I just made a trip to AutoZone to get a different harmonic balancer puller, because the one that I had got yesterday, it was not the right one. Like, I got it confused. So I went to get this one right here, which that's the one supposed to work. But I already knew that it was not gonna work, so I grabbed another one. That one right here. That one right there for sure will work to remove it. So that's very good. But as I am about to remove it, I realize that I also need a tool to install it. Yes. So, fuck. So here you see me removing the harmonic balancer with a special tool for the removal. Very simple. It clamps on the sides and then it pulls it. And right here I start undoing all the bolts from the valve cover timing. 13 millimeters. There's probably like 20 or 25. There's another 13 on top, holding wires, holding a coolant line. And then there's one 13 millimeter around the coolant line that you have to get with a wrench. You cannot get it other way. So here you see me getting it loose with the wrench. Once it's loose, get it off by hand. Yep, that's right. Mechanics really good with our fingers, ladies. And then this one also get it off by hand. Alright, those are loose. Those are all loose. Those ones I cannot reach them with the gun, so I break them loose by hand. And then get the electric ratchet. And then there are two 10 millimeters in the middle of the timing valve cover. Those ones I don't like to use the gun, so loosen them by hand because they are very long and thin bolts. And right here, getting the rest of the bolts, start prying on that timing cover. I see that it's still stuck. I noticed that there's one bolt missing here, and dead end. To fix the engine, you have to be the engine. This is probably like the 10th time that I climbed on top of this car. So I got the front timing cover off, I got the valve covers off, the intake, pretty much everything. Like, I'm ready to get the timing off and then get the camshafts off. But before I remove the timing and I remove the cams, I needed to remove the high pressure fuel pump that it's all the way back there. Now, I don't know why Chevy thinks that it's a very good idea to put it all the way in the back. It is so hard to access it. It is ridiculous. But I'm right here, sitting in the engine bay, getting it done. I got the high pressure fuel pump undone. I didn't even have to remove it all the way. Like, the bolts are still holding it in place. That way it's gonna be easier for me to put it back. But the high pressure fuel pump is slightly outside, just to give me room with the camshaft. What I don't want is, I didn't want the camshaft, once I remove the camshaft, I didn't want it to pop on me because the high pressure fuel pump has a spring. So I removed that off. So now we can start getting into the timing components. Yes, sir. Alright, so now we get into the timing of this engine. A lot of timing components. And then first, I got the 10 millimeters of the tensioner and off the guide. Here you see me hitting the tensioner because it was really stuck. But I also wasn't sure why it was not coming off. Like, it should have came off by now. I didn't want to pry too hard, and there was also no room, so I couldn't get a good angle. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna first get the guides off. So I put a little bit of pressure to get the pressure off the guides, get the guides off, and this tensioner is still stuck. It's not coming off. And I'm getting the other guide off, get the chain out of the way, and now I can put a screwdriver and pry it. There we go. It was just really tight from the factory. Now, after I removed the first chain, the one that drives the bank one, now I have to rotate the engine and put it in timing stage 2. And then right here I'm taking pictures of the stage 2. I like to take pictures just to have them with me and be able to look back at them. And here I get the 10 millimeters of the tensioner, and again the tensioner is pretty stuck, so I'm thinking, okay, first I'm gonna get the guide off. So I put a little bit of pressure so that I can get the bolts off without being pressure on the bolts. And then I had an idea. to remove that tensioner. So I want to grab a little bit of a bigger bolt, longer bolt, put it in there, and then hit the bolt with the pliers. That did the trick like magic. It came off very easy. Get the guide off, and then get the main chain out of the way. I'm saying that this idles, how they feel, how they spin. Getting one of the idle off, and then I start removing the tensioner from the bank too. And then right here the tensioner gets a little stuck because it's in a tight spot, so I have to get the bolt of the guide off first, make the space, get the tensioner out. Now we can get the guide off, get the other guide out, get the chain off, and then the idle, get it off. Excuse the noise. It started to rain really hard at this moment. Right here I'm loosening the VVTi sprockets. So I hold the cam with a wrench and loosen it. I also have the tool installed in the back, as you can see, holding both cams. Although I ended up not really using them as so, they were still helpful for me to hold the cams in place. So like right here I was holding it with a wrench myself, but on top of that I had the tool holding both cams together, so that way there was no way that they were gonna spin. So that way I had a little bit more confidence. And then get the sprockets off. You can see in the inside of the engine how it looks pretty clean. I take some pictures of how the cams look, and then I start loosening the bolts from the cams. And then so first I'm loosening all of the bolts, and I got the tool off of the back of the cams, making sure that all the bolts are loose. Once they're all loose, you can just go with the gun, get the bolts off, and then all of these caps have to be put back in the exact same orientation and position. Ooh, yeah. Of course, an installation like this will never go smooth. So I opened the new camshafts and they don't come with O-rings. They have these O-rings right here, and they don't come with them. And I don't think that I'm supposed to reuse them, so let's make a pause.
Meanwhile,
I'm not trying to crash that bitch. Right to a couple of it, like, fill in the back.
Falling away from me when it takes so long. I'll show you what it feels like now on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like now on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like now on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like now on the outside. Now I'm on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like now on the outside. I'll show you what it feels like
the next day,
outside.
Here we are, day 2. Camming the Camaro. Alright, so we're starting first with the passenger side. We're starting with the intake one. Here we have the new cam. We have the old cam over there. Yesterday, I had to stop working on it and make a drive. Well, first of all, 3 times to get special tools. And then, because we were missing the water pump gasket. So we were missing this rubber gasket that goes inside the timing covers for the water pump. And also these cam ring seals that go right here. So apparently I want to say that they can be reused. Neither all data, neither the dealership, it says that they're one-time use, and they feel hard, like they don't feel like soft O-rings. They're also open, like it's not a full circle, so I think that they could have been reused, but for this occasion, because we are replacing a lot of stuff, like we're doing all the gaskets, we're doing the water pump, we're doing every O-ring, we just want everything new, and especially because we're installing new cams, why not install these new as well? So yesterday I made a drive to get them, and now that's what we're gonna do. I have to put them right here and oil them up really good. Now here I'm about to install the first cam, first choppy cam. Put some oil on top, lube them up really good. Get the second cam of the back one off. Put the brand new ring seals and cam into the engine, some oil on top, and then now start putting the caps. So these caps, they have to go in the very same spot where they came off, same orientation, same everything, making sure that they are flush all the way at the bottom. Start all of them by hand first, and now I'm putting the VVTI sprockets, getting them in, putting the bolt in all the way, tight by hand. I'm tightening it as much as I can with the wrench without rotating the camshaft. And then right here, now time to torque those cams. So start pattern, starting from the middle all the way to the end. And then in the procedure, it says that once all of them have been torqued, then I have to loosen the middle ones. Oh yeah, satisfying clicks. And then loosen the middle ones, and then retorque them and retorque everything. So that's what we're doing right here. That's right. And then torque the sprockets. Right here the tool comes in handy because I hold it with the wrench, but I'm confident that the cam's not gonna turn because I have the tool at the back as well. Satisfying click. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with one side. Everything's already torqued, and I got the tool at the back, so this side is ready for timing. Now I'm about to do the same with the other side. I'm not gonna record this because fucking GoPro is about to die, so I'm gonna get the GoPro charging. I'm gonna do the other side, then I'm gonna start recording back again when I'm ready to put it on time. So I'll be back. Alright, so now we got all the cams installed from both sides, and now we're starting with the timing. First, the chain from the driver's side. This is the bank 2. In this video, I'm not going in depth with the timing because there are some other really good videos out there on YouTube explaining and showing how to do the timing in these engines, and the engine is outside, so they show way better the timing marks and how to do it. I mean, in this video you can see everything that I'm doing. So first put the chain, line up the timing marks at the top, and then put the idle pulley and I torque it. Now right here I am installing one of the guides, and then right here I'm checking with a mirror the mark of the idle sprocket. The idle sprocket has a hole, and that hole has to line up with the color link from the chain. And then right here I'm installing the second guide for the timing chain. I am verifying that the sprocket is lined up, and then right here tighten up the guides and ready for the tensioner. So now I put the tensioner, torque it down, pull the pin out, and that's timing for bank 2. Now we're gonna move into the main chain. So after we're done with the chain from the driver's side, now we have to do the main chain. This main chain is the one that is driven by the crank. So this chain goes in between both idle pulleys and the crankshaft, and then the idle pulleys is what rotates the camshafts. So right here I am installing the chain. I'm making sure that the mark from the chain is lining up with the sprocket of the crankshaft, and then right here I am installing the guide, the top guide, putting it in, screwing it by hand, and then tightening it with the gun, and then torquing it. Right here I'm making sure that the chain looks tight, that it's in place, and then now time for the tensioner. Tie the bolts down, torque them, and now I pull the pin out, and now I am rotating the engine to the timing position number 2. So now that the bank number 2 is set with the time, and the main chain is as well, now I have to rotate the engine to the timing position number 2 or number 1 and get the last chain in. So right here, first I had to make sure that the engine is perfectly lined up, so that now I can put the last chain from the camshafts of the passenger side into the idle sprocket. So same procedure. The chain has color links that have to line up with the camshaft sprockets at the top, and then the idle sprocket also has a hole that has to line up with the color link in the chain. And then as far as the engine, it is exactly in top dead center. And then right here I'm just doing a little bit of movement, a little bit of adjustment, just getting the tension right so that I can put the last guide and the tensioner. So like I said, there are videos out there explaining how to do the timing in this engine. Maybe I can explain it well enough, but I'm not gonna be able to show you as well as some other people. So if you need to do the timing, definitely go check some other videos out. Right here you saw me that I had to remove the timing tool from the back because I had no room to put the tensioner on. So I had to remove the tool, rotate slightly the camshaft, and then I was able to install the tensioner. Pull the tensioner out and it's ready. Now it's on time. Very good. I'm done with all the timing. Everything is lined up, everything is marked up, everything should be on time. I am about to install the high pressure fuel pump that is in the back, and after I install that, I'm gonna spin the engine 3-4 times, make sure that nothing's touching each other, that everything's good. And once we make sure that the cams are spinning, the engine's spinning freely, nothing feels stuck or anything like that, then we're gonna clean up everything and seal the engine back up. So yeah, pretty good. Got the old cams over there. There's so many timing components. Like doing this job, like camming this V6 Camaro, requires 4 cams, 4 variable timing sprockets, 3 chains, 2 idle sprockets, 1 2 3 4 5 guides, 3 tensioners. It's a lot, And if you compare it to an LS to a V8, it would be just one cam, one chain, one sprocket. That's it. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. And I bet that the amount of money that all these parts cost, it's probably almost what an LS engine would cost, maybe. But it's gonna chop. It's gonna chop, so let's get it. Alright, we got the cover all cleaned up. Got the gasket replaced. We have the engine super cleaned up. So I'm about to put some silicone and throw the cover in. So let's get it. After the cover was cleaned, I put silicone around it, and now right here I'm putting it in slowly and carefully. Now, something that I like to do whenever I'm putting a cover back on, whether if it is a valve cover or a timing cover, sometimes even oil pans, I like to practice how to put it in before I put the silicone, if that makes sense. So once it's all clean, I practice how I have to grab it and how I'm gonna put it in. That way, when I have the cover full of silicone, I'm not doubting or hesitating how to put it in, right? It just goes in one movement, in one motion, and I'm not touching other spots and messing up the silicone. So just a quick tip. And well, right here you see me putting the cover in, putting all of the bolts in. Right here I removed one of the bolts because it had to be installed after the tensioner. So yeah, this timing cover has probably like 500 bolts, and right here you see me tighten them, all of them, one by hand. Once all of them are tight, now I just make sure that the water pump surface is clean, ready for the new gasket. New gasket for the water pump, and a new water pump as well. It's 5 bolts, 5 10mm. I believe that Chevy says that these bolts are a one-time use, because every time you purchase a new water pump it comes with new bolts. And then the tensioner, it comes with 3 bolts. Tighten those down. And then from here I am putting the harmonic balancer. So to remove this harmonic balancer you need a special tool, and then you need a special tool, a different special tool to install it. So here you see me installing it. Alright, now the crankshaft pulley is also installed. Special tool for this, special tool for that, special tool for removal, special tool for installation. God fucking damn it. Alright, I'm pretty much done with the front of the engine. I put the belt on, the water pump pulley, tensioner, new tensioner, we got new water pump, pulley back on, power steering pulley back on as well. I got all 4 cam sensors, all 4 cam actuators. All 4 actuators are new, they all have been replaced. Also this water neck is new O-ring, new gasketing here. The belt's not new, but I kind of want to say that we replaced the belt not too long ago. So I think that's pretty much it for the front. So now I'm gonna get into the valve covers. Once I put the valve covers on, I'll be pretty much done. So let's get it. Alright, so I got this valve cover on. I'm about to tie it down. I'm not recording that much right now because I'm trying to hurry up, trying to finish this car. It looks like I might be able to start today, so let's try. Alright, so first of all, you see me on top of the engine bay because it's just easier this way to reach all the way to the bolts in the back. So that's what you see me here, tightening down all the valve cover bolts, make sure they're all tight. And now I'm moving to the second valve cover. First, make sure that the surface is clean. You have to make sure that it's clean. That's the key for it to seal. Now a little bit of silicone, and in goes the valve cover. The valve cover from the driver's side is actually harder than the one from the passenger side. Because it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit longer because you have the high pressure fuel pump all the way at the back. So yeah, right here I'm finished installing the valve cover, tightening all the bolts down, getting all the lines and hoses ready, and then I'm gonna put the intake. Alright, Camaro has been cammed. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, a lot of pieces, a lot of timing components, a lot of bolts, a lot of torque specs, a lot of special tools, a lot of patience, but we did it. Everything's back together. I'm just double checking that everything is good, and I just talked to the owner. He told me that it's safe to start and idle it as long as we don't rev it. So I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna let it idle. I want to make sure that the timing's right. I want to make sure that it's not gonna be leaking. And once we make sure of that, I can call my customer for him to come. Once he comes here, he's gonna get a base of the idle, and then he's gonna send the base of the idle to his tuner. His tuner gonna send a tune. We'll upload the tune, and then the car should be ready to drive. But as for now, the car should be ready to chop. So let's see if it chops.